Oh, well, hi there. In this episode, I get a story to tell, and it's a story of a woman who failed actually all her life. But there's one thing that made her a success story. Let's go. Alright, so the story is about Dorothy Lawrence, and Dorothy Lawrence was a journalist from the early 1900s. She wrote for newspapers like The Times and just had like a journalistic career. But at one point the war broke out, so she wanted to write about the war. So she went to newspapers and she said like, hey, can I work for you? Hey, can I write about war for you? Can I write about a war? And everybody said, no, you can't, because you're a woman. Oh, by the way, that is not my opinion. That is because feminism didn't make a breakthrough until then. I don't know why it took so long. Don't look at me. So she thought of something else. Dorothy Lawrence was English, and in 1915 she went to France, because that is where the war was at that time. In France, she volunteered for the Sure, I've written this down somewhere. Just give me 2 seconds. So Dorothy Lawrence volunteered for the Voluntary Aid Detachment. Those are civilian women, I think only women, civilian women who went nursing in the First World War. It's actually as simple as that. She just wanted to become a voluntary nurse. I could have said that too, but So she was rejected. That's the whole point. She was rejected again. But she kept going on. She decided to enter the war zone in France and just said that she was a war correspondent, freelance war correspondent. However, she was arrested. Again, no result. Not the result as we'd like it to see. She had to find a different way. She became friends with some army men, and they took care of like a uniform. She cut off her hair, she dressed up as a man, and she just went into the war. I think she was sneaked in. Yeah, she was sneaked in. Right now, she was Private Dennis Smith. So that worked out. She had success for the first time. So yeah, she was in the war. You might say like, oh, that's good, and now she did like all her dreams and she became a journalist and very popular and the first woman soldier. But no, she got ill, turned herself in and became a prisoner of war. After being interrogated 26 times, they thought she was a whore, but still had to stay for a longer period of time. Back in England, she wrote, but it didn't work. She had to scrap her first book, and the second book got heavily censored by the War Office. She was broke and without credibility and went eventually to a doctor. She told about being sexually assaulted as a teenager, and the doctor sent her to a mental hospital and later on declared insane. And then she stayed there for a couple of years and then died on her birthday. So that was the story, and I hope you enjoyed. Well, maybe you might also say, why do you tell us this story? This is very unsatisfying. This is not really a climax we hoped for, you know? Why do you ruin my time with this depressing little story? Well, I can tell you that I think it's a success story. Because this is a woman. Only English woman soldier, which is already a great title, of course. This woman fought for her one goal. And actually she achieved it. It wasn't what she expected, but she achieved her goal and she knew what she was fighting for. That's why she pushed through every time. Imagine just imagine what it must be like when people 100 years later read about you, when they know your story. And now it inspires me and it inspires others to throughout the globe, to also fight for your goal, to also chase it, chase your dreams, chase the one thing that you think success is. And just when things go down a little bit and you feel depressed, think of Dorothy Lawrence. Fight through. Chase that goal. You can do it. Even in ways you might not expect it. With that being said, I thank you very much and have a nice day.